Well, the old saying, you are what you eat, has never been truer than in the United States. I'll give you an example. Um, I'm on dialysis. My kidneys went bad. The food supply in the United States is pretty much poison. Um, 1 out of 7 people in the United States develops kidney problems, CKD. Some of them enter end stage where they need dialysis. This is much higher than in Europe, much higher. You know, why? Why is it higher than in Europe? Well, let's look at the issues. Most people are not aware that most American products, food products, cannot even be sold in Canada because they're highly processed, they contain carcinogens. The FDA, I mean, under Trump, he's even relaxed standards, but the FDA standards in the United States are much worse than they are in Europe, in Canada. A loaf of bread can't even be sold. There's a yellow, elongated cake substance with a frosting in the inside, of vanilla cream frosting on the inside. I don't want to run into problems with the company that makes it, but people say that product can last a lifetime, that it doesn't spoil. You can actually eat one of their cakes a year old and it'll still taste good. It's highly processed, it's loaded with preservatives. Take, for instance, your favorite brand can of clam chowder. They tell people we're not supposed to exceed, healthy people, 2,000 milligrams of sodium a day, 1,300 milligrams just in that one can of New England clam chowder. The way French fries are salted by commercial restaurants, some with arches, some without, some with royalty. It's way too much salt. The food is bad. The salt is bad. Uh, Most people are not aware that 50% of the population develops heart problems to different degrees. We are poisoning ourselves. Dialysis is not fun. Kidney transplant sucks. You have to go on a list. They give you anti-rejection drugs, especially if you don't have a close genetic match like a family member. These anti-rejection drugs have their own problems. First of all, you have to stay out of the sun. Second of all, you're more prone, because it's an anti-rejection drug that affects your immune system. You're more prone to develop things like skin cancer and other cancers. So even with a transplant, you're trading one problem for another. For years, they've been suppressing cloning. People on the right have been screaming, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that, it's against God's will. All this bullshit. The truth of the matter is, you can make more money treating a problem than curing it. Even someone who's on renal failure, they still have a few viable cells of kidney. If those cells could be taken out, harvested, and cloned so new kidneys could be developed, sure, the initial operation would be expensive in the cloning, but the truth of the matter is that when those organs are cloned and put back in the recipient that donated the cells that were viable, there'd be no rejection. It's the same organ. It's just a couple cells have grown into a new organ. You make more money treating a problem than curing it. So why cure a problem? Why not just treat it for 10 or 15 years? Get 4 or 5 times what you would have gotten to do a cloning and a transplant. Think about it. There are drugs in Europe that they're producing that work so much better than in the United States. And why don't they import them? Because they don't want to break up Big Pharma's monopolies in the United States. They're killing us. They know the food is bad. The reason it's highly processed, the reason it has all these preservatives is dollars and cents. They're doing it so the actual food that buys, let's say, a box of cream-filled goodies can let it sit on the shelf for a year if it doesn't sell. Where if you take an apple or an orange, those things have a shelf life. They turn bad. It's all dollars and cents. Well, that's my 2 cents for the day. Think about it. They're killing us. They don't want us to live. They only want us to consume. When we get older, when most of those diseases hit us, we've already bought all the things we're going to buy. We're disposable. So fuck the old people. Let them die. I may sound very cynical, but that's how I feel. Also, a word to the wise: stay away from most Chinese food. Soy sauce is poison. It's all sodium. An average Chinese meal with the extra soy sauce people put on to meet American tastes, you're way over 1,300 milligrams, which is more than a half a day's worth. You're probably, by the end of time, eating 1,500 milligrams, and you've probably eaten 1,500 milligrams before that in the day. So, the food is killing us in the USA.